So in conclusion, I want to wrap up with some key practical takeaways for you. You want to be training consistently, favoring higher frequency over higher per session volume. And in addition with consistent training, you also want consistent amino acid intake. However, protein is not the only important macronutrient. You also want a steady stream of carbs, calories, and fats throughout the day, which are also very anabolic, as well as other micronutrients as well, since there's other nutrients like vitamins and minerals and enzymes that also play a role in muscle protein synthesis and hypertrophy. All right, so make sure that you are getting a steady stream of all of your macros throughout the day. But back to protein, I know the question on everyone's mind at this point is, how much protein should I be getting each day? Well, there have been a lot of studies done on this, and so far, all of these studies show that 1 gram of protein per lean pound of muscle is more than enough. And so that has become the basic rule of thumb for anyone doing hypertrophy training. You should be getting 1 gram per lean pound of body weight. So for instance, if you're a 205-pound man like me, right, but some of that weight is body fat, you want to know exactly what your body mass index is so you know the exact amount of body fat you have, or you can just estimate it. All right, that is fine. This doesn't have to be an exact science. So what I just do is assume I probably have, somewhere around 25 pounds of fat on me. And so I say that 180 grams of protein is my daily intake. And then I try to reach that approximately. Okay, you don't have to be super precise about it because 1 gram per pound is actually a little bit more than enough. And if you want to be exact about it, most studies have shown that 0.8 grams or maybe 0.85 grams per pound is the exact right amount. So 1 gram is more than enough. And you certainly shouldn't be getting any more than 1 gram. Now you might be thinking to yourself, well, I heard about some athlete who eats 1.5 grams per pound, or I heard about some expert that recommends 1.5 grams, or I heard about a Mr. Olympia or some big bodybuilder who eats 2 or 2.5 grams per pound. Well, that is all well and good for them, and I'm glad that they have been successful with it. And what happens is when you have been training for decades as a professional athlete, you reach an elite level, and sometimes during times of peak performance or pre-competition prep, you might hear about these trainers having their athletes intake huge amounts of protein. And that may seem to get them good results for the period of time that they need them. However, there has never been a single scientific study that has shown that amount of protein is necessary for the general population, and these cases are anecdotal at best, at least with where we are now. So if you became an elite professional athlete, literally training as a job for multiple hours a day throughout multiple sessions, and you've got a big competition coming up, well, your trainer might have you be doing all sorts of extreme stuff, and that may work in those situations. However, for everyone else, we need to rely upon the scientific literature, and 1 gram per pound is going to be more than enough. And if you're one of the people out there who is most serious about training because you want to actually become an athlete and you want to train like one, then you do need to diet like one as well. However, even if you were to become an athlete, that doesn't just mean you should up your protein intake and that you will start getting results from that. Okay, even if you were to start training harder and more frequently and up your dose of protein, again, there would be diminishing returns on that. All right, 1 gram per pound is still going to be more than enough, and increasing it beyond that is only going to be giving your digestive system and your kidneys more to process. All right, so even for people out there who consider themselves to be hardcore lifters, to be extremely serious and dedicated about fitness, and even people who are becoming or are already athletes, you really don't need more than that 1 gram rule of thumb, until you reach some sort of elite level, and then you may need it for, like a very short period of time. And if you are one of those people who's that serious about fitness that you want to be an athlete and want to train like one, you do need to diet like one. And it is not just about protein intake at that point. Your protein intake is just the most basic part of your diet. There is so much more to dieting for fitness. There's so much for you to know about calories, carbs, fats, and other micronutrients, as well as supplements and such that are essential fundamentals for any athlete. And if you want to learn all of that and know everything you need to know about dieting for fitness, be sure to check out my fitness dieting course, which is going to be linked below when I come out with it. And so now to answer the question if you should or shouldn't be drinking pre and post workout shakes, well, you still could and probably should be drinking them, but it's not because of the anabolic window. All right, it's because you need a steady stream of protein throughout the day. And when you are on the go, as you will be when you are coming and going from the gym and probably going to work before or after one of those, a shake is going to simply be a convenient way to get your macros. So the reason you're drinking a post-workout shake is not because of the anabolic window that's about to close on you. It's because it's probably been a few hours since you last got macros, right? And so before your workout, you can have a workout shake if you haven't eaten recently, right? Because if you ate 2 hours or 3 hours ago and you're going to work out, you're probably not going to get to eat again for another 1 to 2 hours. You don't want it to end up being too long and have you be going catabolic, especially while you're working out. All right, you want to be anabolic while you're working out, not catabolic, as I talked about earlier. So yeah, that's why you would want to have some macros in your system soon enough before working out, so that you don't end up going, like 4 or 5 or 6 hours without macros. However, if you did eat within the last couple hours before your workout, I would say don't have a pre-workout shake unless it's a very, very small one, because you don't want to be working out on too full of a stomach. All right, because if you're working out with a high intensity, which you should be, that could make you nauseous or even throw up, as it happens sometimes when people are drinking these pre-workout shakes and then going and doing an intense workout. So if you've eaten within the past couple of hours and then you work out, even if it takes 2 hours, you're going to be able to get a post-workout shake probably 4 hours after your last meal tops. But if it has been a while since you've eaten, you're hungry, you want to take a big shake, maybe you have a big workout coming, then take a big shake, but wait like a half an hour to an hour ideally, but even a half an hour will really help that to settle down far enough. So these pre and post workout shakes aren't about the anabolic window and for trying to get macronutrients into it. What they are for is convenience, all right? That is all. And I don't even consider mine to be pre or post workout shakes. I consider them meal replacement shakes, because that's what it really is. It is really a replacement for a meal that you are drinking instead of eating at home or at a restaurant for convenience sake. And you don't have to just drink them before and after your workout. You can drink them any time that you are going to be going, more than 3 hours without a meal. Okay, if you're going to be going 4, 5, or 6 hours without a meal, you should be drinking a shake right in the middle of that time. Because again, that steady stream of amino acids and again, other macronutrients is what is most important for achieving a net anabolic state. And the longer you go between meals, the less anabolic you are going to be. So you need to be eating smaller, more frequent meals if you want to be anabolic and grow muscle. And what you need to do with your protein is figure out by lean body mass how much protein you need each day, and then multiply that by about 5 or so, or however many small meals you can fit in a day, and then try to make each one of those meals have that much protein in it, approximately. So for instance, I eat 5 meals a day, and 3 of them are your traditional breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 1 of them is a meal replacement shake, and then somewhere else in there, I will have some sort of snack-like meal that will have a protein component and a carb component. So it will be like a small protein shake, not like a meal replacement shake, but just protein and milk, or a protein bar, and then maybe some rice cakes or some sort of multi-grain crackers, something that has more macros in it. So those are my 5 meals a day, and breakfast, lunch, dinner, and the meal replacement shake all have approximately 40 grams of protein in it, give or take 5 or 10, but if I get less earlier, then I'll get more later, so it evens out. And then my snack will have probably about 25 or 30, maybe sometimes 40 grams of protein in it. So I know that I'm always getting at least 180 grams of protein every day, and that was something that was really easy to do because I'm not actually modifying the 3 main meals. I'm just supplementing 2 more on top of them whenever I'm going to have a big gap. So that's something that anyone who works out can and should be doing. And in closing, I just want to say that when it comes to hypertrophy and anabolism and growing muscle, that adaptations require consistency over long periods of time, meaning months and years. So in this age of instant gratification, where people want results fast, and people are posting on social media like, I trained like this for a week and here's what happened, you really shouldn't be giving a shit. You shouldn't be thinking in that short of term. Unfortunately, people these days have gotten so egotistical and short-sighted that they think that they can work out and then go, oh my God, look how much I've grown just from that one workout, and go, take pictures in front of the mirror and, send them to all their family and friends, like, I started working out, look at that. That's not how adaptations work. And getting some protein supplement that's supposed to be, really fast absorbing, it gets into your system faster than the other supplements, isn't going to make a difference. So you shouldn't be thinking so short term. Otherwise, what you're really doing is being short-sighted and small-minded, all right? Because adaptations take time to make. So if you do want to grow muscle, you need to be training with a high frequency and consistency and be getting a steady stream of amino acids throughout each and every day, which should add up throughout the day to equal 0.8 to 1 grams per pound. And you need to be doing everything else I outlined earlier to produce a net anabolic state each day, such as rest and recovery and energy balance and hormone levels and such. And you need to be doing all of this stuff each and every single day, day in and day out, for long periods of time, months at least. And then and only then will you see the kind of massive hypertrophy and muscle growth that you want. So you need to really be committed to a high level of consistency for everything across the board if you want to really make those adaptations, all right? And as long as you stick with it long term, you will see massive growth. And I'm going to be teaching you how to stimulate that growth more and more as time goes on in the next part of the program, which is on training volume and progressive overload. So that's where I'm going to be teaching you exactly how much work you should be doing over time in order to cause the hypertrophy adaptations you want. So now that you understand the anatomy, the physiology, and the biology of muscle hypertrophy and anabolism and how it all works and how to cause it, you are ready to learn about and start practicing long-term progressive overload so that you can cause more and more hypertrophy and muscle growth as time goes on and achieve your fullest growth potential. So that being said, that concludes this class and this entire part on the science of hypertrophy. I hope you found this class helpful. Now, make sure to put what information you learned into practice right away before you forget, okay? That way it can actually go to work for you, because speed of implementation is one of the keys to success. If you have any questions or need any help, be sure to let me know either in the comments below or by the email address that is in the video description below. And if you are passionate about fitness but don't have time to do all of your own programming yourself and would like to have an expert programmer like me create and manage all of your fitness routines and planning for you, who can systematize your training so that you can reach your goals as fast as possible, be sure to inquire about my online personal training and fitness programming services. No matter what your schedule, budget, or goals, I can formulate the exact right program for you that will expedite your progress and growth and get you the body you want sooner rather than later, okay? And without ever spinning your wheels in the mud or hitting a plateau. And if you liked anything that I said in this video, be sure to hit that like button and the subscribe button and notification bell too, so that you can get all of my other videos that are like this one. And just remember that these videos are actually part of a course that is laid out in a linear fashion. So make sure you have seen all of the videos before this one that you need to see, and that you are subscribed and will continue to watch the videos that you watch on this channel in the order that they are presented to you.